Many thanks for staying with us. It's the conversation this morning, and on this segment, as Christians across the world mark Easter, a season widely associated with celebration, reflection, and sacrifice, one critical question remains: are we truly connected to the essence of this season, or have we reduced it to mere celebrations, festivity? Today we'll explore Easter, the reason for the season. And seated here with us is Bishop Dr. Stephen Adigbite, is Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission. He'll be helping us to unpack the true meaning, spiritual depth, and of course, relevance of Easter in today's world. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Again, we're going to find out, the real foundation of what Easter is all about. What is the true meaning of Easter?
Thank you very much. When we look at the life of Christ, you recall that after baptism in the Jordan, he was led into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, where he fasted. And when he was coming out of that experience, he was tempted by the devil 3 times. And he won the devil 3 times. And after that, he started the ministry, and for 3.5 years, he was able to do it successfully. But after the end of that ministry, there was a coup, in quotes. They plotted against him. He was betrayed. He was arrested. He suffered. He prayed the prayer of agony, and eventually crucified after a kangaroo court set up that sat in the night, which is contrary to the norms. So these are what we commemorate when we have the Lenten season. The Lenten season starts on Ash Wednesday, and it will now culminate on Easter Sunday, which is the day of resurrection. So this period that we are in, it is called the Holy Week and the week of expectation, the week of repentance, the week of abstinence, and the week of agony. And when you start from the Palm Sunday, you now have the Holy Monday, the day that Christ went into the temple and drove away the money changers and cleansed the temple. And on Tuesday, himself and his disciples, they were going through a field, and they saw a fig tree that has no fruit. And because of deception, Jesus caused the fig tree. And on Wednesday, it was called a silent day. Theologians don't really know what happened on Wednesday, but people suggested probably that was the day they were returning. And the disciples now saw the fig tree dried already. And on Thursday, that was the day of many activities. Thursday was the day of arrest, the day of betrayal, the day of a prayer of agony, the day of a kangaroo court, and the day of condemnation. And of course, Friday, the day of crucifixion. And Saturday, which is the end of Lent. Lent does not end on Good Friday. If you calculate from Ash Wednesday to only Saturday, you get 47. But because we don't fast on Sundays, so you remove the Sundays, then you now have 40 days. So that is why Lent ends on only Saturday. And on Sunday, we now have the day of resurrection, day of celebration. That is why we don't fast on Sunday. Sunday is regarded as a day of celebration, day of resurrection, day of relief, day of reassurance that Jesus said on the 3rd day I will rise. And indeed, he rose on the Sunday.
So the death of Jesus Christ, what does it truly represent?
The death of Christ represents redemption. The death of Christ represents atonement. The death of Christ represents salvation. And without his death and resurrection, there is no message for us. Because he became the first among the dead. And there is no other human being that have died that came back to life by himself. You know, Jesus brought back about 3 people. He brought back Lazarus, the widow of Nain, and another one. But for him, he came back by himself. And he became the first among the dead. So that is why Christ is regarded today as both the message and the messenger. And there is no other leader of any religion that have gone, that have returned. And Jesus now lived for another 50 more days among people. Even his own disciples denied, they doubted. And Thomas said, until I see, I cannot believe. And as they were gathered closed in a place, Jesus appeared and said to Thomas the doubter, can you touch? Can you see? And Thomas said, now I believe, my Lord and my Master. And Jesus replied, blessed are people who do not see, but they believe. So that is why Jesus is unique. And you cannot refer to him as late Jesus. He's yesterday, today, and forever. He's alive.
Okay, you mentioned the resurrection earlier. I'd like you to shed more light on what it represents to humanity as for today.
The resurrection of Christ is the message that we have. And on Sunday, we will shout, Christ has resurrected. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. Hallelujah. Because the heads were unable to hold him captive. He promised the disciple on the third day, I will rise. And on the third day, despite all the security they put, the guards they posted, the stamp they put on the tomb, on the stone, Christ rose. And they opened the tomb, and they said, he's no longer here. He's risen. He has gone to Galilee. Go and meet him. They are looking for the living among the dead. And that is why the message of Christ is what everybody can witness, is what people can feel, is what people can testify to, that indeed a leader came, he died, and he resurrected. And that message now brought hope and immortality to us. And that is why we can now approach the throne of grace and cry, Abba, Father. Before his death, before Christ was crucified, if you want to go for atonement, depending on the gravity of your sin, that determines the object of sacrifice. There are people that must come with dove, others will come with goats, others will come with bull, depending on your gravity. And you must atone for your sin before you enter the temple. But because he has come to make his own life as a sacrifice for us, that is why we can approach the throne of grace. We can cry about Father, and we can ask God for forgiveness. And remember, the day he was crucified, the curtain, the veil in the temple tore into two. Before now, you cannot enter the Holy of Holies. It's only the high priest that entered that place once in a year. And you cannot have more than maybe 3, 4 in a decade, in century, that will go before the Holy of Holies. But because of his death, the curtain tore into two. And everybody can now approach the throne of grace without any intermediary, because he has paid the price. He used his own life as a ransom. And that is why we are saved. So the resurrection of Christ, the death of Christ, brought redemption, brought salvation, brought immortality back to our life.
That's quite insightful. So right now, Jesus Christ, still talking about messages, Jesus Christ said something at the point of death, or at the time he was about crucified. It is finished. What does that signify?
Yes, it is finished signifies that pain, trouble, unnecessary bickering, unnecessary conspiracy, acrimony, hatred has come to an end. And the period of atoning with blood, the blood of blood, the blood of a dove, the blood of a goat has come to an end. Okay. He has completed the work of salvation. And that is why we don't need any of such anymore. Okay. And that is why we tell people, henceforth, you can approach the throne of grace. And when you go into Romans chapter 12, it said, it is your reasonable sacrifice. Come be to the Lord in every area of your life. Humble yourself. So you don't need any other thing, because Jesus has paid the price on your behalf. So you can approach the throne of grace anytime, and you are saved.
So from what you've said now, are Christians living up to that message you have just mentioned?
Well, you know, when we talk of the Christian faith, just like any other religion, when you go into Matthew chapter 7, verse 21, he says, it is not everyone that calls me Lord, Lord, that will enter the kingdom of God, but only those who do the will of my Father that is in heaven. If you are a Christian, then you will behave like Christ. You know, where they were first referred to as Christian in Antioch, in Acts of Apostles, the disciples were not carrying anything. There was nothing on their forehead. But because of the attitude, the people now look at them, this one are little Christ. they are Christians. But now, a lot of people call themselves Christian. They are not. They are far from it. So it's only those who do the will of the Father that is in heaven. And when Moses went to Mount Sinai, he got 10 commandments. And when Jesus came, he reduced the 10 to 2. So that it will be readily in our mind and easily memorized and be part of our life. He said, the first one, hear whole history. The Lord your God is one Lord. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul. That is the first commandment. And the second is like namely this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than this. When you keep the two, invariably you have kept the 10. So that is why if you want to be a Christian, you must be a Christian. Don't be forced to be a Christian. Don't deceive people that you are a Christian. Just be a Christian. Because nobody can deceive God. Whatever you do, we justify at the end of the day. And since you cannot run away from your shadow, then don't attempt to deceive anyone or deceive yourself.
So can the message of Easter influence governance and, of course, leadership on today's world?
Definitely. Especially what happened this year is a clear sign to leaders, to believers of religion, both Christianity and Muslim, that we must be one. We started Lent and Ramadan, Holy Ramadan,
together.
the same day. It has never happened before. We used to have it and you go into one, go into the other one. But this year, 2026, is a unique one. We started on the same day, which means, according to Isaiah 40:31, people that wait upon him, he will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run, they will not be tired. They will walk, they will never be weary. So once God has put everybody in that perspective this year, that we should learn how to wait upon him, then it should affect our life. And it should not just be a ritual that we fast every year, we observe the Holy Ramadan every year, and we still go back to our sinful way. No, it must have a different. And we must feel for other people. And it's not only during Ramadan, you should be kind to people.
Exactly.
You should be kind to people all the time.
At all times.
And people that are governed, people that are in government must fear God. Because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And of course, we brought nothing into this world. And it is certain. It is not under probability. We are going out with nothing. The Lord has given, he has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Anyone that is able to think that way will not misbehave. Whatever opportunity you have, you will use for the goodness of the people. And so that when you leave office, people will talk of what you are able to do. Because there is nothing that has a beginning that will not have an end. So people in government, including myself, we must ensure that we use our offices for the goodness to make positive impact in the life of the people and commemorate the efforts of Mr. President, so that everything that he has in mind, we are also able to do it in our own little corner. Since he cannot be everywhere, he has appointed ministers, we have governors, we have chairmen of local government, we have commissioners, we have members of House of Assembly, House of Representatives, the senators. Do your work well and have the fear of God, in whatever you are doing, so that Nigeria will be a better place for all. And the Easter message will not just be another Easter, but an Easter with a difference.
Okay. Let's talk about what is happening in Jos, which is quite unfortunate, the killings of fellow Nigerians in Jos. The man Asiwaju, we need to talk about him and his style of governance. Does it depict this message of Easter when it comes to sacrifice, love?
Thank you very much. Asiwaju, to me, is an enigma. Asiwaju is an epitome of generosity, humility, and kindness. I have known him for the past 25, 26 years, and he has not changed. Because many Nigerian politicians, when they are in power, or before, immediately they get into power, what they used to do for community, they will stop it. But unlike Asiwaju continues to do what he has been doing, even after assuming the president of Nigeria. And I don't think there is any other office that he will be aspiring to be. He has gotten the highest, but he remains himself. The first lady remains herself. And I was sharing with some people the other time. I said, if anybody come in contact with the two of them, and that person is not generous, is not kind, such a person is a wicked human being. Because you should look at your leaders, look at what they are doing. I don't think there is anything they cannot give. There is nothing they can't give you. Probably they won't give you their body. But apart from that, they are just too generous to a fault. Now coming to Jos and what happened on Palm Sunday, which is quite unfortunate. But I say to you that people who are behind all this madness, they are animals. They are not human beings. And they are the same throughout the world. That is why what is going on in Iran and America and Israel is something every every sensible human being should know. That fight is not for America alone. It's not for Israelis alone. It's a fight against criminality. It's a fight against hardened, terrible human beings. And they have a network. And it's the same. They are the ones sponsoring terrorism all over the world. And what happened on Easter, on Palm Sunday, is unimaginable. Look at the way people were killed. Look at the way people were dismembered. You can imagine that madness. But God will deliver Nigeria. Mr. President is in Jos as we are speaking. And I know he's going to show kindness to the people. And we are not going to give up. We are not going to surrender to terrorists. We are not going to surrender to banditry. Nigeria will come out stronger, and Nigeria will be a safe place for people to live. Because Nigeria is the next destination in the world. The signs are obvious now. So we must ensure that we have wonderful security architecture so that we can see and be more proactive. We don't wait until they do it before we go after them. And nobody should tell us that terrorists are Nigerian, they should be treated with kid gloves. No. Terrorists are enemies of Nigeria. And anywhere they are found, they must be brought down. And let us send them back to the Maker. And the Maker will decide their fate. They should allow us to have peace in our great nation.
So, one more. So we still have some, pressing issues we're dealing with, which, big challenges we're still dealing with in Nigeria, which is corruption and, of course, injustice. How can Easter values now address those challenges?
Anyone that studies the life of Christ, simplicity, do you know the people that come to arrest Christ were unable to identify him? Because he was wearing the same thing with the disciples. Until Judas Iscariot had to kiss the Lord to identify him. That was when he was arrested.
That's the betrayal.
So that is betrayal, And when he behaved that way, it's a lesson to us that any position we have, we don't need to show off. We don't need to oppress the people and put it on their face, to rub it on their face, and to let them know, yes, we have the power now, and the Yoruba will tell you, Bamu Bamu ni moyo, emi o mo boye bi npomo eni kankan, that I'm full. My family, they are full. And careless whether anyone is hungry or not. That should not be our attitude.
That is wrong.
Our attitude should be, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. And let us use the opportunity God has given to us in our offices, not to enrich ourselves unnecessarily, but to spread the joy, the blessings to people around us, to ensure that what belongs to 100 people is not shared among 5. Let us be kind to ourselves. Let us avoid corruption because of Easter. Jesus died in our place. He was never a sinner, but he died the death of a sinner. He humbled himself unto death. And because of that, in Philippians chapter 2, he's been given a name that is above every name. At the mentioning of the name of Christ, every knee must bow, and every tongue must confess that Jesus is Lord. He's an example to us, an example to leaders, and we should emulate such to have better government, to have better governance, and to have better society.
Okay, what is the role of our religious leaders, especially now that we approach the 2027 general elections?
Our role, number one, is to pray. And our role is not to begin to now prophesy woe unto whoever God has not asked to speak, and is speaking at this time. There are people that read pages of Facebook, they will read newspaper, and they will go and wake up and they will tell you they have seen vision. A politician will die. One powerful. Those are not vision. Those are not prophecy. They are fake prophets. The Bible says, by their fruits we shall know them. If God has not spoken to you, or God, prophet, keep your mouth shut. Allow the will of God to prevail. Your duty, my duty as a pastor, as a bishop, as a primate, is to pray for the goodness of Nigeria. Is to pray against violence during electioneering. Is to pray for peace during election. And is to pray for a wonderful Nigeria even when the result has been announced. So God knows the one that will emerge as winner again. We don't need to waste our time on that and now be saying God has spoken. And somebody will go from one point to do you know that we now have prophets that predict the outcome of matches between Manchester United and Chelsea? That is embarrassing. And they will speak every day. Every week they must talk because they want to be known. They want to be noticed. But do you know the difference between a true prophet and a false one? If your prediction did not come to pass, you are a false prophet. And we have seen many. I can give you 5 over 10. No, 5 over 40 or 100 of fake prophets in Nigeria. So they know us and they know that they dare not come to our own page and be talking what is not. Because we will reply them. Okay? Now lie they talk. So don't tell us, is there any year that somebody will not die? Have you seen any year?
Exactly.
Somebody will die. Is that a prophecy? That is no prophecy. Somebody will emerge as winner. Who? They said it's 2023. All the people they predicted will win the election did not win. So be careful. 27. If you give us a name and does not come to, we will come after you. And we'll ensure you don't prophesy again.
Okay, let's look at the larger chunk of our population, which are the youth of Nigeria. What message do you have for them this Easter season?
This season of Easter, I say to the young people that let them fear God and let them submit to the dictates of the Almighty. They should not follow the bad wagons. They should not think of getting rich quick. There is no shortcut to richness, to riches. You must go one step after the other, precept upon precept. You don't look at somebody that has worked for 40 years, using one car, having a house. You want to be like that in 4 years. How? How can you be managing director at 21? What are you managing? What are you directing? Wait for your time. If you do, with God on your side, you will become a managing director one day. And you'll be a successful one. And when the wealth now comes, you know how to manage it. But if it is ill-gotten, there is spirit behind wealth. Young people, if you don't know, when you got it just anyhow, you will spend it anyhow. But if it is your sweat, you will know how to manage it. And you will know how not to be throwing it just anyhow. And you will not run into madness, especially the Yahoo boys, Yahoo Plus, and also the ladies who want to get 1 million, 2 million, bringing money home to you, also parents. And you don't ask, where did you get this? What have you done to get this? So please, at Easter, the life of Christ should be an example to you. He died at 33. But till today, this is 2026. We still talk about the day he was born, the day he was buried, the day he died, the day he resurrected, the day he ascended. Something is special about him. So the age of Methuselah has nothing to do with the wisdom of Solomon. So be careful. But God on your side, you are a success. You are a victor. You are not a victim. And you will succeed in life.
Amen.
With the fear of God.
Okay. So beyond the festivities of Easter, how should Christians now continue, beyond that to live their lives?
They should not go back to their vomit like a dog. Things that you stop doing during Lent, you must continue. That is the best way for you. And of course, let me also advise that when you wait upon God, when you fast, probably once, 2 times, 3 times in a week, it's good for your body. Because you don't need all those junk that you consume. Myself, I've also learned from that. And that is why I drop weight in recent time. Because I discovered most of the things we are eating is not good for our
We
body.
don't need it for our body.
We don't need it. They are not useful. So when you drop your weight, you will feel better. And fast is part of what you can use to drop it. So I advise you, whatever you have left during Lent, continue with that. And you don't lose anything, but you gain more. According to Mark chapter 16, verse 16, it says people that believe, they will be saved. But in addition to their belief, he said these signs will follow them. In my name, they will call on God, he will answer. They will pick up things that are harmful, it will not harm them. They will lay their hands on the sick, they will receive healing, and they will speak in new tongues. They will have new spirits. That is what we need in our great nation, as a man, as a human being, as the society, as the church, so that we can move forward together. And Nigeria will be a better place for all.
If there's one message you want people to remember, what would it be?
It's message of humility, message of prayer, and message of greatness that come after humility. You know, pride goes before destruction, but Jesus humbled himself and he became a name that is above every name. Humble yourself today, and tomorrow you'll be elevated by the special grace of God.
As we mark Easter season, it is important to remember that beyond the celebration lies the spirit of reflection, the spirit of sacrifice, and the spirit of love. Thank you very much, Bishop Dr. Stephen Adegbite, Executive Secretary. Easter is the reason for the season, and that has been our conversation this morning. We'll be right back after this time.